अस्सलामुअलैकुम वरहमतुल्लाहि वबरकातुहू। रब्बि इश्रह ली सदरी वयस्सिर ली अमरी वहलुल उक़दतम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली। In this video, I am going to share with you the last part of birth lesson, because only one paragraph is left. So I would like to wind up. The birth lesson over here only. Then after, inshallah, I will discuss with the question answer. Then I will begin a new lesson in the same video. So I would request all the students to have the textbook in your hand so you can understand well. Open page number 69. I am reading, the last paragraph is left, right? So this is going to be the 5th video of birth lesson, and I am reading supplementary textbook, right? Let's begin to read. Mechanically, Andrew wrung out his sleeve, pulled on his jacket. Wrung out. "I will fetch my bag later, nurse." Right, so he just he wrung out his sleeve and pulled on his jacket. Right, he was wearing jacket. "I will fetch my bag later, nurse." He went downstairs through the kitchen into the scullery. Scullery means a small room in kitchen. His lips were dry. At the scullery, he took a long drink of water because he was so tired, he was so exhausted. He reached for his hat and coat. Outside, he found Joe standing on the pavement with a tense, expectant face. Husband was waiting outside, thinking that what would happen, and he was waiting for the positive response from doctor. And doctor says, "All right, Joe," he said thickly. "Both all right. The child is also all right, and your wife is also fine." It was quite light, nearly 5 o'clock. It was the time of the dawn, and it was 5 o'clock. A few miners were already in the streets. So the miners were there working in the factory, they were there going on foot. The first of the night shift moving out. First night was got finished, and miners were there going. As Andrew walked with them, Andrew also started walking with them. Spent and slow. He was not walking very fast, slowly. His footfalls echoing with the other under the morning sky. He kept thinking blindly, oblivious to all other work he had done in Blenheim. He forget everything, and he was just walking all alone. "I have done something, oh God, I have done something real at last." And he exclaimed out. He started saying that, and he was so happy at the end of the lesson, and said it was a solo dialogue spoken by him, says that he had done something, and he has really done something real that changed his life. Anyway, so let me tell you in a nutshell. Andrew unfolded his sleeve and put on his jacket while informing the nurse that he will take his bag later. He then went into a small room through the kitchen downstairs and grabbed a large glass of water. He took his coat and hat and headed outside. He met Joe outside and told him that everything was fine. It was around 5 in the morning and there was not too much light. While walking towards his home, he was accompanied by a few miners who had just completed their night shift. As their footsteps echoed, he had only one thing in mind. His heart was full of thoughts that he finally accomplished something. Now let me discuss with you question answer. That will help you a lot. "I have done something, oh God, I have done something real at last." Why does Andy say this? What does it mean? He was so happy. He was able to save the life of mother as well as child. And this was the first case. He had never solved such complicated case in his life, in his past life. So he was so happy, right? The young Dr. Andrew Mason had done commendable work. His explanation is justified. He He had not only helped the middle-aged lady in the safe delivery of a male child, but also restored them to perfect health. Susan Morgan's strength was ebbing after the delivery. She was almost pulseless, right? Henry gave her an injection and worked severely to strengthen her heart. The major achievement Henry was to resuscitate the stillborn child. First, he laid the child off a blanket and began the special method of respiration. Then he tried the hot and cold water treatment, dipping the baby alternately. He labored in vain for half an hour. He then made another last effort. He rubbed the child with a rough towel. He went on pressing and releasing the baby's little chest with both his hands. At last, the baby responded. His chest heaved. Henry redoubled his efforts. The child was gasping now. A bubble of mucus came from his tiny nostril. The pale skin turned pink. His limbs became hard. Then came the child's cry. Henry called upon God as witness of his act, which was not less than a miracle. It was not mere theoretical talk, but practical achievement, something real and solid. Let's see the next question. There lies a great difference between textbook medicine and the world of practicing physician. Obviously, what you get knowledge inside the textbook is different and what you get knowledge in practical. I personally believe that theory is important, but practical knowledge is more important than theory, right? Unless and until you put into practice what you have learned, then theory will be useless. Normally, the medicine prescribed in the textbook are used by the practicing by physician. However, in extreme cases of emergency, the physician's experience, resourcefulness and practical approach become far more important than the theoretical knowledge. For example, a victim of burn injury, snake bite or suffocation through drowning needs immediate help. The nearest available doctor may not have all the facilities needed for the case. In such situation, first aid is a must to save the patient's life before rushing him to the hospital for proper care. With limited resources at his command, the practicing physicians exercise all his practical experience to control the damage to the minimum and check the victim's state from further deterioration. A stitch in time does save 9 in such case. The practical help comes as a boon. Do you know, third question, do you know any incident when someone has been brought back to life from the brink of death through medical help? That we'll discuss when we'll meet inshallah in the school. Now let me share with you the summary of let me start with you the next lesson. Anyway, I will begin the next lesson to the new video because student will get confused, because if the two lessons get confused, then I will find it difficult to give the title to the video. So I will begin inshallah the next video in the next I will begin the new lesson from the next video inshallah. Allah Hafiz.